Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Void Knight, and what you will see is all of her skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, her skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, I give you the class Void Knight. Here we go. And welcome to the skills screen. If this is your first time watching my character profile video, let me introduce the interface to you. On the left is all of our skills. On the right, the far right, is all the specials connected to those skills. And then beside skill is charges. That's how many times you can use the skill. And then hits is how many times the skill will hit a creature or opponent. And then you have damage PVE, which is the highest percentage damage it'll do against a creature in the world. And then damage PVP, which is the highest percentage damage it'll do against another person's character. And then you have the passive at the bottom. So I want to explain what all the colors mean across the skills page here. And let's just go ahead and knock out the easy ones. If you look at the specials and you see where it says max 4 attack or max 2 attack, this is something I've yet to spend time in figuring out. I don't know what it means. For example, if you take the second one, Endless Blitz, the skill, and you see it, you have one charge, one use of it, and it hits 2 times, but maximum of 4 attacks. I don't understand where they're getting that. It's for you to decide, so I wanted to highlight it so that you're aware. And don't worry, using this character, you will figure it out. So let's see, the words that are highlighted in red applies to the legend at the bottom left corner. It's not applied in Arena. So super armor and invincible, not applied in Arena, but everywhere else in the game, yes. Now, Void Knight uses a magic system, and I've highlighted that in blue and black. So what you're seeing is the first skill, Eclipse, recover 12 magic per hit, is in black. And then look down to Cross Slash, use 12 magic per hit. So you're using and recovering magic is part of her system. And I'll explain a little bit more about that. But on the left side, you have the purple words, like Cross Slash is purple and blue. It's connected to the passive. So Spirit Absorption is connected to the passive because of the last thing on that line, Enchanting Frenzy. You can activate the passive using this skill, Spirit Absorption. And then, of course, Enchanting Frenzy, the passive, is in purple as well. And all of the blue, I've highlighted that because you're using magic. So I'll dive more into how that works and what you're looking at. But for now, take a moment to look at this. When you're ready, we'll move on to the top 8 PVE skills I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PVE slide. So what I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized it according to the column of damage PVE. From the highest percentage all the way down to the lowest. So Legacy of Vidir is your highest single point damaging skill. And what I've done is I've highlighted the top 8 because 8 is all we can bring into the game world at a time, like maximum at a time. And I also like to bring to your attention the skills that have multiple hits. Like, for example, let's take Dark Mist. If 10 hits is truly at 195%, then you carry the 0 over and it's 1950% damage for the 10 hits. That should be of interest to you. For those of you who like to do PvE, maybe you should start out using Dark Mist and then move into Legacy of Vidir next. And quite honestly, looking at the list of her skills, it's very impressive how many are at 1000% for PvE. So she hits really well, really hard. So take a moment to look at this. I'm going to go into the passive on the next slide, the top 8 PvP skills that I recommend. And here we go. The PvP slide is ready. We have a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and get to it. The first thing is the skills are organized according to the column of damage-PvP, from the highest all the way down to the lowest percentage, and Legacy of Vedir is your highest single point damage skill. We've covered the colors that are in the specials, and let's see, and you know what the purple and the blue and the skills mean. So let's go ahead to what PvP people want to know, and that is, what skills give me my super armor? So when it comes to PvP, they always want to refresh super armor, and it will become clear on the player card. I have the definition for it there. So the answer is the third skill down, Eclipse, has super armor, and you can use it in arena as well as around the world, anywhere in the world, excuse me. And also Nightfall doesn't damage too hard, but it gets that super armor in. So you can probably use those two in the rotation of your skills, and you will guarantee yourself that super armor is with you at all times. So let's go ahead and look at the passive. Now, I must explain there is an issue with the magic system when it comes to when you're looking at the game versus when you're looking at my video. So the best way to explain this is on the player card screen where you see everything. It'll become very clear, but I'm going to go over the passive plainly as it shows from my explanation. So apply Enchanting Frenzy when using 100 magic for 10 seconds. So everything that's in blue on the left side of the screen for skills, Legacy of Vedir, Obsidian Ashes, Fury of Kama-Sylvia, and Cross Slash, use magic and will get you that 100 to activate your passive. When it's active, your character is engulfed in a blue flame to visually let you know that your passive is active. And what happens is it reduces damage from other adventurers when hit for 3 seconds by 50%. The cooldown is 15 seconds though, so magic recovery is 100%. So your magic recovery bar at the bottom is maxed for 10 seconds. And it reduces magic consumption to 0, so you're always full. It's like 10 seconds of a free ride to hit your opponent using all the skills you can that deal with magic. And applies 300% of magic activation enhancement effect. You really won't know what this means until you're on the enhancement slide, which is coming up very shortly here. And then it affects cross slash in the fact that the AP for the skill enhancement effect is increased by 75%. So when we look at the enhancement slide for cross slash, we'll keep this in mind. Oh, 75% more of this. And that's how your passive works. All of it is very nice and very deadly to use all of your magic for 10 seconds as much as you possibly can. I mean, who wouldn't like that? So what we're going to do now, take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, we're going to go on to the skill combos for the Void Knight. Here we go. And welcome to the skill combo slide. So first things first, where can you see this? If you are in the game and you tap to bring up the menu system, and then you go to skills, which is on the right hand side, and you're on the skills screen, and then you look to the left and down, kind of towards the middle but down, you'll see a little icon that looks like a magnifying glass. You want to tap on that, and this is what will bring up the list of skill combos. But what I've done is I've taken all of them and put it on one screen for you to observe, whereas in the game you gotta scroll up and down to see it all. So on this slide you can print it out, just take it, print, have it in front of you and you can practice these things. You know, if you love Void Knight and you want to be as good as you possibly can, this just makes sense. So now that we're on the screen, here's how it works. On the left hand side in blue is the starting skill. This is what Pearl Abyss recommends if you just are like, I have no idea how to play this character, I have the least amount of knowledge on what to do with the skills and how to use them. This is what they're saying. We'll try this. So how it works is to start out with the skill Dark Mist. Now Dark Mist will shoot you around like a pinball on a pinball machine, and once you're done with that, there's an icon that looks like a chain link, and they're saying after Dark Mist, try Nightfall, or try Eclipse, or Fury Camisylvia, or any of those after you do Dark Mist. So they're giving you options. However, if you start out with Dark Mist, and then when you finish, you move into Dancing Blade, then if you look right below, you can do your Dancing Blade and move into the skill of Eclipse. And then if you look below that, you can do Eclipse to Endless Blitz. That's four hit combo right there that they just gave you. So this is how the screen works, and it's there for you to try it out, get comfortable. You over time will know what you like in skills and which ones work best for you. But this is a spot where you can get an idea of where to start. So what we're going to do, take a moment to look at all this, and we're going to move on to the enhancement slide. Here we go. And welcome to the enhancement slide. So here we go. There is a lot to explain here. If you are new to my enhancement slide, allow me to introduce how the interface works. On the left is all of the skills. On the far right is all the branch damage connected to those skills. And then there's 4 columns in the center. The first, second, and fourth column, I try to make that things that help your Void Knight, things that do something for the Void Knight. The third column, I have it things that happen to the creature or opponent you are fighting. So now that you know the basics, there's a lot to talk about here. Let's go ahead and knock out Cross Slash. So in the PvP slide, we went through the passive, and the passive talks about Cross Slash and how it boosts Cross Slash by 75%. Now, first things first, all of the enhancements you need to unlock. So some of them you can simply tap and unlock them. Others you need to get skill books while fighting creatures in the world of Elion or Hadum. And when you learn those skills, it'll raise the level of, say, Cross Slash. It'll raise its level, and if you need a certain level to unlock the first column where it says Magic Activation, which is a skill, if you need it and you reach it, then you can use some silver and unlock it. That's how enhancements work. So, Cross Slash for the passive said it would increase the skill by 75%, and if you're looking, that only talked about the Magic Activation. So, Magic Activation, once you unlock it, it increases your AP by 25%. It uses 50 magic, and there is an effect that's not applicable on hit. I'm going to go into that right there, the effect NA on hit, but for now, let me focus you on this. If you have your passive and you have this unlocked, it increases it 75% more, so your AP should be increased to 100%. So what I'm getting at is that with this unlocked, when your passive hits, your AP should shoot up by 100, giving you 100 CP more for 10 seconds. So this is of interest to you if you're just trying to, get more CP while you're fighting. This is what they're talking about, and this is how the passive helps you. Now, let's go over a few other things before we tackle magic activation. Look at Fury of Camisylvia towards the bottom, all the way over to the right where it says heal 205 hit points per hit. The reason heal is colored that way is because it doesn't apply in Path of Glory. So everywhere else in the game it does, but not Path of Glory. And if you look below that 2 times for Legacy of Vidir, all the way over to the right, if you unlock that flow, which is another skill, it does 100% damage, super armor, that's what SA stands for, and knock up on hit. But they're letting you know that the super armor is not applied in arena. That's why it's colored red. Okay, now getting over to the skills on the far left, here's why I colored those in red. It's because there's something that happens to all of these skills, and that's the magic activation. So first of all, magic activation is a skill that when you unlock it, it's on top of what you normally have there. So the thing that really gets me is Dark Mist has no magic activation. There's no skill of magic activation to enhance for Dark Mist. So to Pearl Abyss, oops, there's no reason to unlock this. There really isn't. So if you go to Dark Mist and you look at all of the skills that you have there inside Dark Mist, magic activation is not one of them. So no need to unlock an enhancement for something you don't have. But if you're curious and you want to do it anyway, yeah, be my guest. Now, the last part of all of them for magic activation where it says effect NA on hit, I'm going to give you my interpretation of it, and that is these are skills that use magic. So when you unlock this magic activation, they're telling you that it won't cost anything to use the skill or the activation skill itself. The effect of using up 12 magic to cast it out and to use it, it's negated. So this is for you to figure out and try. What I'm doing is I'm telling you that there's a lot of text issues here, and this is my interpretation of what this means. So to sum that up, cross slash. Magic activation, you unlock it. The effect NA on hit means that when I use cross slash, the magic that's consumed is not anymore. So check it out, verify it, and that's why I highlighted all those skills in red, is because they're saying that the amount of magic that it takes up is no longer there, or it could mean that it really doesn't take the 50 magic away that it says it will. So it's kind of confusing, but it's for you to learn about the Void Knight and see what it's doing when you unlock that enhancement. And there you have it. So what we're going to do now, take a moment to look at this. We're going to move on to the player card, where I totally can show you what I've done for the magic system, as well as the card itself. When you're ready, let's move on. Here we go. And welcome to the player card. This is a slide that has all of the screens you just previously saw on it, all on one, so that if you are strapped for time or you see a character that you're interested in, but just like I just want to see what they have, you can come to the player card section of my character profile videos and see everything that they have all on one screen. So there's a lot to talk about here, so let me go ahead and introduce the interface to you. At the top is the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend. To the right of that is something new. It's called immobilization. Anytime a skill will stun, knock down, freeze, anything like that, etc., etc., it immobilizes your opponent. I have listed it here. Green means you have one, and then how many is how many that you have to immobilize your opponent with. Looking at Void Knight, they have given her at least one immobilization for almost all of her skills. It looks like Dark Mist and Dancing Blade doesn't get one, and that's fine. Her strength, it appears, is not in immobilization, but it really is in damage and the use of the magic system and what you can do with it. So below that is all the skills that you saw, and below that's the enhancements, and then there's the legend for what is not applied in Path of Glory and not applied in Arena. At the bottom is the definition for forward guard and super armor. Just in case you're like, you've been talking about it and I still don't know what it means, here's what it means. Forward guard. This means incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. As long as your opponent is in front of you, and maybe to the right or the left, but in front, the damage is going to be so heavily reduced, it's just about laughable, and you can have a good time with that. But if they get behind you, then it's a different story, and they can damage you all they want, and it'll hurt. Now, for super armor, this means that incoming damage will be reduced, and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. This is the reason why everyone in the PvP world cycles super armor through all their skills, that the ones that give them super armor, because they don't want to get immobilized. They don't want to get stunned or knocked up or knocked back or knocked down or anything of that nature, where once they're down on the ground, then their opponent can get in a couple free hits. So to prevent that, they use a skill that has super armor, and then something else, and then super armor again, and they get that refreshed in all of the skills that they use. So that's how this works. Now, we're gonna go on and talk about the magic system. So just give me a second, and we will go ahead and I'll explain what's going on. Here we go. Okay, so I took a quick drink because this is an emotional part of the Void Knight that really upsets me. Because the definition of what her magic system can do is horribly messed up. So much that you won't understand anything looking at what they give you. So what I've done, let's start from the beginning, is I went out to the game world and I used each one of her skills, except for the heal and obviously the passive and all that. And I used each one of them to find out what skills use magic and what skills recover magic. Because the issue that Pearl Abyss has is everything that says the word magic says recover. You're always recovering. And if you believe that, then how can you ever use your passive? Because you need to use 100 magic, but you're recovering for everything. This is why there's an issue here, and it needs to be cleared up. And I've done that all the way up to this point where you can visually see. So all of the ones that use magic are highlighted in blue in the skills column. All the ones that recover magic are left alone. So Eclipse recovers magic. Endless Blitz recovers magic. Dancing Blade recovers magic. Nightfall recovers magic. Oh, we'll get to Dark Mist, alright. And Nature's Rage, and the standard attack, Kriegsmesser Mastery, recovers magic. These skills truly do give you magic back. At the bottom, the blue bar. And all the other ones will take away magic. So this is how you activate your passive, and this is why they're highlighted in the PVE and PVP section in blue. So you know, okay, I need these to use up magic so my passive can activate. Alright, now for that. Let's now look at Dark Mist. Honestly, Dark Mist is a skill that, like I told you, you shoot around like a comet and damaging people. It's really nice. It does 10 hits. And if you can get all 10 of those hits in on one person, it's really something. But looking at the skills, it says no grab while using the skill, you're invincible while using the skill, and super armor is applied but not in arena. Nowhere in all of that did it say that it recovers magic or uses magic. So now if you look at the enhancement section at the bottom for cross slash, there's a magic activation where the effect is NA on hit. What effect? And you're using 50 magic to use it. So what effect is not there? I want my super armor, and gosh, if I could use that in arena and it negates that, oh heck yeah, I'll take that. Invincible while using the skill? No, you don't touch that. You know, don't NA that one. No grab while using the skill? Yeah, don't NA that one either. So this is where you can visually see what the heck is going on with that enhancement, and that's why I said don't bother with it unless you truly want to unlock it, but once it's unlocked you can't take it back. So I don't know what it will do to your Void Knight, and yeah, so I'm saying don't bother with it. Alright, and now you can also see the other magic activations, like let's take the Fury of Camasylvia. If you look at the specials and under the skills, it uses 15 magic per hit, gives you forward guard while using the skill, and gives you a knockdown on hit. Okay, enhancements, magic activation. It gives you 1 extra hit, so you're hitting twice for that. And actually, yeah, you're hitting twice. It takes up 50 magic, and then it negates the effect NA on hit. So that's where I'm coming up with, maybe the use of 15 magic just doesn't happen. So if I had my Void Knight and I unlocked that enhancement and I used Fury of Camasylvia on a creature, any creature out there, I would be looking at the blue bar to see if it moves, if it's being used. If it doesn't at all, and I'm tapping on it and tapping on it, and it just doesn't, that's what happened. It totally took away the use of needing 15 magic, but will it still count towards activating your passive? This is what you need to know. Alright, so this is the player card, and this is how it all works. I've explained the magic system probably way too much, but it was important to me to get in and learn what the magic system is and how it works and how it relates to the passive, and to explain that to you so that if you are choosing her and you're looking at what all the definitions and what things mean, you're not scratching your head going, this makes no sense. I don't know what to do. So I appreciate your time. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna move on to the gameplay video when you're ready, where I show you what the Void Knight can do. Here we go. And welcome to the gameplay video. So before we get started, let us show you where we're at. We're over here in Balenos, and we're over here at Kron Castle entrance, and we're here because I love it here. Their CP is that much, and our CP is way this much. So she'll be alright. The way this works is we'll have her use this auto path. We'll have her fight for about 2-3 minutes, at which time we'll have her go back to town. I'll give my outro and say thank you. So, without further ado, I am very pleased to give you the class Void Knight. Here we go. looks like we're just about ready to head back to town. Here we go. And while this loads up, allow me to say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like my videos, please subscribe, like, let people know I'm always making more videos and I'm happy to do it. So what we normally do is swing the camera around and display our character. So we'll just zoom in here. There we go, and maybe, yeah, that looks about right. Looks nice. So once again, thank you very much for watching the video. And there's a little oopsie I did in there, but you have yourself a great night. Wave goodbye. There we go. Yeah, here comes the oopsie. Oops. I corrected it. Have a great night, guys. Bye now.